Once upon a time, in a small African village called Mwanga, there lived a young woman named Sarah. Sarah was beautiful, kind, and hard-working. She loved her family dearly and took great pride in the traditions of her community. At 24 years old, she had started her own small weaving business, crafting baskets and colourful clothes that she sold at the village. Sarah had been in a relationship with a young man named Juma for 3 years. Juma was charming, tall, and known for his smooth words. He had a way of making people laugh, and everyone thought he and Sarah made a perfect couple. Whenever they walked through the village together, people would smile and whisper, "What a lovely pair." But Sarah's life was not without its challenges. Her mother, Amina, was a strong-willed woman who often caused tension in the family. Amina was proud of her looks and loved attention. Even though she was in her 40s, she dressed as if she was Sarah's age, and her playful behaviour often embarrassed Sarah. One day, Sarah was busy at the market, selling her colourful woven baskets. Juma came to visit her, as he often did. He brought her a small bouquet of wildflowers and kissed her cheek. "How is my beautiful Sarah today?" he asked. "I'm good, Juma," she replied, smiling. "Business is good today. Maybe soon I can save enough to buy more materials." Juma nodded, but Sarah noticed he seemed distracted. He glanced around the market as if he were looking for someone. "Are you okay?" she asked. "Yes, of course," he said quickly. "I just remembered, I promised to help a friend with something. I'll see you later, love." Sarah watched as Juma walked away, her heart feeling uneasy. Over the past few weeks, he had been acting strangely, showing up late, making excuses, and avoiding her questions. She didn't want to doubt him. But something didn't feel right. At home, Sarah talked to her best friend, Zawadi, about Juma's behaviour. Zawadi was a loyal friend who never hesitated to speak her mind. "Sarah, men like Juma can be tricky," Zawadi said. "He's charming, yes, but sometimes charm hides secrets." "I'm saying you should keep your eyes open," Zawadi replied. "If something feels wrong, maybe it is." That night, Sarah couldn't sleep. Her thoughts were filled with worry. She decided she would pay closer attention to Juma's behaviour and figure out what was going on. Over the next few days, Sarah noticed small things. Juma would disappear for hours without explanation. He seemed nervous when she asked where he had been. He also started visiting her home more often when she wasn't there, claiming he was dropping off small gifts. One afternoon, as Sarah was cleaning her room, she overheard her younger brother Musa talking to a friend outside. "Mama and Juma seem close these days," Musa said. Sarah froze. "What do you mean?" she asked, stepping outside. Musa shrugged. "I saw him leave the house yesterday when you were at the market. He was laughing with Mama in the kitchen." Sarah decided to investigate. The next day, she told Juma she would be at the market all afternoon, but instead, she hid in the bushes near her home. She watched as Juma arrived, carrying a small package. He knocked on the door, and her mother opened it. Sarah's stomach churned as she saw them laughing and talking closely. Her mother touched Juma's arm, and he didn't pull away. They went inside, and Sarah followed quietly, peeking through the window. What she saw made her heart shatter. Juma and Amina were sitting close together on the couch, holding hands. Amina leaned forward and kissed him, and he didn't stop her. Sarah felt tears streaming down her face. Sarah didn't wait for another second. She burst through the door, her voice trembling with anger. "What is going on here?" she shouted. Juma and Amina jumped apart, their faces pale with shock. "Sarah, it's not what it looks like," Juma stammered. "No, Mama, I won't listen," Sarah interrupted. "You betrayed me. You are my mother, and you did this to me." Unable to bear the pain, Sarah ran out of the house. She went straight to Zawadi's home, where she broke down in tears. News of the scandal spread quickly through the village. people whispered about Amina's betrayal and Juma's dishonesty. Shara felt humiliated, but with Zawadi's support, she began to rebuild her life. She broke off all contact with Juma and refused to speak to her mother for weeks. Amina tried to apologize, but Shara wasn't ready to forgive her. "You were supposed to protect me, Mama," she said. "Instead, you hurt me more than anyone ever could." Shara focused on her business, pouring her pain into her work. Her baskets became more beautiful, and her business grew. Over time, she found strength in her independence and the love of her friend. Months later, Amina came to Shara with tears in her eyes. "Shara, I was wrong. I let my pride and foolishness ruin our bond. Please forgive me." Shara looked at her mother, the pain still fresh in her heart. "Mama, forgiveness is not easy. I need time. But I hope one day I can forgive you." As for Juma, he left the village in shame, never to return. Shara learned a powerful lesson from the betrayal. She realized her worth and vowed never to let anyone take her kindness for granted again. Over time, she found peace and happiness surrounded by friends who truly cared for her. Her story became a cautionary tale in Mwanga, teaching others about trust, betrayal, and the strength to move on. "Shara, your baskets are even finer than last week," Mama Chipo exclaimed, inspecting one of Shara's woven creations. "Thank you, Mama Chipo," Shara said, wiping sweat from her brow. "It's hard work, but it's worth it." Juma appeared from the crowd, his presence commanding attention as always. He handed Shara a basket of fresh mangoes, flashing his signature smile. "For the hardest working woman in Mwanga." Shara blushed. "Thank you, Juma. You always know how to brighten my day." "Only because you brighten mine," he replied smoothly. As the villagers watched them, they whispered approvingly. "Those two will surely marry soon," one woman said. But Juma's charming facade masked secrets. At home, Shara's mother Amina stood before a mirror, tying her colourful headscarf. Amina, though older, had a youthful spirit that sometimes bordered on vanity. "How do I look, Misha?" she asked her youngest son. While Shara loved her mother, Amina's flirtatious nature often embarrassed her. "Mama, must you always dress like this?" Shara had once asked. Juma began acting strangely, showing up late to their meetings and avoiding her gaze when she asked about his whereabouts. One evening, as they walked along the riverbank, Shara decided to confront him. Shara didn't press further, but her heart felt heavy. She shared her worries with her best friend Zawadi the next day. "Shara, you need to keep an eye on him," Zawadi said bluntly. "Men like Juma can't be trusted so easily." Shara laughed nervously, trying to dismiss her friend's warning. But Zawadi's words stayed with her. The first real sign came when Shara's younger brother, Musa, casually mentioned seeing Juma at their house when Shara wasn't home. "What was he doing here?" Shara asked. "He was talking to Mama in the kitchen," Musa said. "They were laughing a lot." Shara decided to uncover the truth. She told Juma she'd be at the market all afternoon, but hid behind the bushes near her home. Her heart pounded as she waited. Just as she feared, Juma arrived, carrying a small package. He knocked on the door and Amina answered, her smile wide. They exchanged a quick embrace before going inside. Shara crept to the window and peered in. What she saw made her blood run cold. Juma and Amina sat close on the couch, their hands intertwined. Amina laughed, and Juma leaned in, whispering something in her ear. "Explain what?" Shara screamed. "How you've been sneaking around with my mother behind my back?" "Don't tell me to calm down, Mama," Shara yelled. "You betrayed me. You're supposed to be my mother, not my rival." Juma tried to grab her hand. "Shara, it's not like that. Don't touch me." Shara shouted, her voice breaking. She stormed out of the house, tears streaming down her face. Months passed before Amina dared to approach Shara. She found her daughter weaving under a mango tree, her face calm but distant. "I came to apologize," Amina said, her voice trembling. "I was selfish and foolish. I let my pride and loneliness cloud my judgment. Please forgive me." Shara paused, her hands tightening around the basket. "You didn't just hurt me, Mama. You broke me." "I know," Amina said, kneeling before her daughter. "I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you if you let me." Shara sighed, her heart heavy. "Forgiveness takes time. I don't know if I can give it yet, but I'll try." Juma left the village in disgrace, and Shara slowly rebuilt her life. Her weaving business flourished, and she became known for her resilience and strength. One evening, as she sat with Zawadi by the river, Shara smiled. "You were right. Zawadi, some lessons are painful, but they make us stronger. And you, my friend, are the strongest woman I know." Zawadi replied. Shara's story became a lesson for the village. Trust is precious, betrayal has consequences, and true strength lies in moving forward.